And this is why you notice the people that allow themselves to be used as a device by Satan to afflict you, they don't even put this much energy and effort into attacking the people that actually hurt them. They're more focused on afflicting you, someone who has done nothing to them. This is why. Ask you guys a question. For the people that are sitting there and telling you that you're going through black magic or you're being afflicted because you must have done something wrong to deserve it, or you must have offended God, if you were such a bad person, then why do these people have to do black magic? Wouldn't your own actions alone would have already sabotaged your blessings? If God didn't have anything great in store for you because you're such a bad person, because you're doing so much horrible things and you sabotaged your own blessings because of all these horrible things, then why would these people feel the need to put you on their altars? Why would they feel the need to put your name in their witchcraft, or to do things to try to sabotage things external to you, or to try to afflict your physical body if you're already doing horrible things to have sabotaged your blessings? See, Job is blameless, but remember, Job is still a man and he's not perfect. If he's not perfect and he's still a man and he still makes mistakes like many of us, why did God consider him blameless? Why? Because he's on the walk with God, 1. And 2, he fears God. And 3, he shuns evil. He's living upright. So if you were doing all these things that people say that you're doing wrong as to why you're being afflicted, then why do these people have to do the black magic still? See, the reason why they're doing the black magic still is because you're not doing anything wrong. They're doing the black magic because they have to manipulate you into thinking you're doing something wrong for you to do what they want you to actually do. So this is a word that I've been holding on to for a couple of days. And here's the reason why, because I've already talked about this so many times, but God had to remind me today pertaining to another word, why it's important for me to, re-articulate certain things and to do another video, because there's new people. Not only that, but there's someone that may be going through something that needs to hear the word, okay? And we know that Job went through a lot of tests, okay? So I'm going to read something to you and I want to highlight something to you. But this is for many of you guys that you have been manipulated by people, or you have been gaslighted by people. But before I even start reading anything, okay, I want to say exactly what God has audibly told me in the past, okay? And this is why I mention it a lot in many videos pertaining to, spiritual warfare and stuff. When you are sensitive in the spirit, as in, whenever something shifts in the spirit or something is going on in the spirit, your anointing, the type of anointing you have, the type of sensitivity you have, you are well aware when something shifts in the spirit. Because why? Because of your sensitivity, okay? Just like if somebody in the physical was to come to you and was to give you attitude, was to talk bad about you in front of your face in the physical, that would affect your emotions, right? It doesn't mean that you're responding negatively back to what they're doing, but you would feel a shift in your emotions. Like you may go from being a little bit like, happy to all of a sudden feeling confused and wondering why they're talking to you like that. Or you may feel hurt, or you may feel angry, right? So just like that shift took place pertaining to that example I just gave you, it's the same thing in the spirit. If something was to occur in the spirit, even if you're not able to physically see it, you would feel the shift spiritually. So your spiritual body, your spirit man, would feel the shift as to whatever is going on in the spirit. And because your spirit man is feeling it, your physical body is responding to what your spirit man is feeling. Do you get it? So whenever there's spiritual warfare, any type of spiritual warfare, okay, you are going to feel the shift in the spirit if you are sensitive in the spirit. And that means that you may go from being happy to depressed or angry, or you may notice a lot of things that are falling apart around you, or you may notice people are attacking you for some reason and you don't know why they're attacking you, or there may even be like someone doing black magic that's creating a shift in the spirit because of the black magic that they're doing, and you're feeling the shift because your spirit man is feeling afflicted and your physical body is feeling the afflictions that your spirit man is feeling, right? So God told me that the reason why many of his children can feel the afflictions of warfare, the afflictions of black magic, the afflictions of attacks is because they are sensitive in the spirit. Meaning, whenever anything shifts in the spirit, whether it be positive or whether it be negative, you're going to feel it because of your sensitivity. Okay? So there's people out here who are not sensitive in the spirit at all. They don't know when there's a shift in the spiritual realm. They don't know when something is going on in the spiritual realm. Because why? They're not sensitive in the spirit. They're going about their life every day, just like they go about their life every day, right? And they won't even know when something has shifted because they're not sensitive, okay? I have to explain that to you because there's so many people who are being gaslighted, who are being told that the reason why they're being afflicted or the reason why they're being attacked is because they're cursed or they done something wrong to upset God and God is allowing it, or they must have done something wrong and this is why they're going through what they're going through. What people don't understand is you can feel afflictions, but it doesn't mean it's going to succeed. If you are sensitive, you will feel the shift that something is being done in the first place. Because your sensitivity in the spirit is alerting you that something is being done. If it wasn't a possibility for a child of God to feel any type of affliction or to feel any type of attempt, then God would not have said, "Touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm." The reason why God said that is because it is possible for people to touch a child of God, but whatever they do will not succeed. So weapons will be formed, but they will not prosper. But there'll be serious consequences for forming the weapons in the first place. Okay? So many of you guys, people have gaslit you. They may have told you these things to make you feel like you've done something wrong to go through afflictions, or because you're feeling the afflictions in the spirit. And the thing about it is that is the most easiest excuse for people to say to make themselves feel better or to make themselves feel like you don't have something that they don't have. A lot of times as well, people will say these things to try to make sense of something that they don't even understand. The truth of the matter is, a lot of people that say this, they're not sensitive in the spirit, which means they're not going to understand. And a lot of these people, they're going through spiritual warfare. There may be black magic being done to them, but let me tell you the difference between a child of God that's sensitive in the spirit and let's say a child of God that's not, or a person that's not. Okay, a child of God that's sensitive in the spirit is going to feel the shift in the spirit, which means they're going to know when something has changed or something's going on, right? Because being sensitive means that any type of shift, you're going to know, right? A person that is not sensitive, a lot of things may happen in their life where they may be denied from a job, where they may have a failing marriage, where they may have, they just may lose a lot of money. And not one time will they think that black magic is involved, or not one time will they think that it's spiritual warfare. Why? Because they feel every emotion that the physical body is supposed to feel, and they may consider that as normal. Because they see that as normal, they would never think it's warfare or never think it's, black magic or whatever. So they're going to think that it's just life, right? Whereas a person that's spiritually sensitive, they're not only going to feel the emotions of their physical body, but before they even feel the emotions of the physical body, they're feeling the shift in the spirit first. And then they feel it in the physical body. And when you feel something in the spirit first, before you feel it in the physical body, it's a lot more intense. Okay, it's like feeling something double or triple or quadruple times than the average physical body, which lets you know that it's not normal. It's that confirmation that it's not normal. Now, Job, being a man of God, being blameless, he felt every affliction. Because let me tell you something, okay? Job is very sensitive in the spirit, all right? This is Job 1, and I'm going to start with number 6. One day the angels came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came with them. The Lord said to Satan, "Where have you come from?" Satan answered the Lord, "From roaming throughout the earth and going back and forth on it." Then the Lord said to Satan, "Have you considered my servant Job? There is no one on earth like him. He is blameless and upright, a man who fears God and shuns evil." "Does Job fear God for nothing?" Satan replied. "Have you not put a hedge around him and his household and everything he has? You have blessed the work of his hands so that his flocks and herd are spread throughout the land. But now stretch out your hand and strike everything he has, and he will surely curse you to your face." The Lord said, "Very well then, everything he has is in your power. But on the man himself, do not lay a finger." The Lord allowed Satan to have power pertaining to everything that Job had. Okay. But God said, on the man himself, do not lay a finger. So that means everything external to Job can be destroyed. So Satan ended up destroying everything external to Job, all his land, his wealth, everything around Job. And Job ended up praying to God and asking God why everything external around him was falling apart. Doesn't that sound familiar? How many of you guys, there's a lot of things around you that will fall apart, but you may feel healthy, like nothing's wrong with your physical body, but you're noticing everything around you is falling apart. Okay, so let me tell you something. So that is like spiritual warfare that happens to the people that may not be sensitive enough to feel afflictions, right? But things around them are kind of just falling apart, and they may not even think it's warfare. They may not think they're in a test. They may not think that it's black magic, if it is black magic, right? Because when God says you can do anything to everything around Job, Satan's going to use any device, any tactic that he wants to use to destroy everything external to Job, right? So imagine this is happening to people who are not sensitive in the spirit and they're being tested. They may not even think they're being tested. They may just see it as life. It's normal. This is just normally happening. Or they may really think that they may have done something to upset God, when in all actual reality, you don't have to do anything to go through spiritual warfare. It can just happen to you because it's a testing season, just like it happened to Job because it was a testing season. But a person that is sensitive in the spirit, they may know that it's spiritual warfare. They may know that's black magic as to why everything around them is falling apart, because they will feel it in the spirit first. Okay, so now I want to highlight this to you. Now Satan went back to God, and let me tell you why. Because remember what Satan said. Satan said if everything around Job was to be destroyed, Job would curse God, right? Everything around Job was destroyed, and Job still never cursed God. So what did Satan do? Satan went back to God because Satan wanted to try a harsher type of tactic to try to manipulate Job into sin in order to try to get him to curse God, because the tactic of destroying everything around him didn't work. So Satan wanted to do something worse than what he already did. But I want to remind you of something. Job didn't do anything to upset God to deserve that. This was Job's testing season, right? But because Job did not curse God, Satan wanted to go harder. And that's why Satan went back to God for another request. So I want to say something to you. Job is blameless, right? Look how Satan is trying to manipulate Job into cursing God. The reason why I'm going to highlight that to you guys is because many of you guys, you're not doing nothing to nobody for them to attack you with witchcraft, for spiritual warfare to happen to you. And people are saying you did something wrong and you didn't. And like I tell you guys all the time, the tactic of people doing witchcraft on you, doing black magic on you, is they are trying to manipulate you into doing the things that are detestable to God, because they feel like if they can break your spirit by breaking everything around you and mess with you, eventually you will curse God. Eventually you'll be upset at God, right? So I tell you guys all the time that they try to do this to manipulate you into cursing God, into committing sin. That's their tactic, right? So this is Job 2. On another day, the angels came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came with them to present himself before him. And the Lord said to Satan, "Where have you come from?" Satan answered the Lord, "From roaming throughout the earth, going back and forth on it." Then the Lord said to Satan, "Have you considered my servant Job? There is no one on earth like him. He is blameless and upright, a man who fears God and shuns evil, and he still maintains his integrity, though you have incited me against him to ruin him without any reason." Skin to skin, Satan replies. So now Satan is asking to actually afflict Job's physical. Why? Because everything external to Job did not break him. Satan could not use destroying everything external to Job to manipulate him into this type of sin. So now Satan wants to go harder because that tactic of destroying everything around Job, Job still maintained his integrity. And God confirmed that Job is still blameless and Job did not even deserve that to happen, right? So now Satan is saying skin to skin. Man will give all he has for his own life. But now stretch out your hand and strike his flesh and bones, and he will surely curse you to your face. The Lord said to Satan, "Very well then, he is in your hands, but you must spare his life." So what God is saying is, okay, you can touch him, but you can't kill him. Spare his life, right? That's why I tell you guys, if it wasn't possible for people to even afflict you, right, then God wouldn't have to say, "Touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm." So now Satan's going to touch Job, but he's not allowed to kill Job, right? And I want to remind you again, Job is blameless. Job didn't do anything to deserve this. This is a test in that season. So the reason why Satan wanted to do this, because Satan said, okay, if he's not breaking and he's not cursing you, if I damage everything around him, I'm pretty sure that if I mess with his physical, he'll surely curse you. So do you see how now Satan's trying to do something worse to manipulate him into sin, to manipulate him into cursing God, right? But can I tell you something? Job did not curse God still. Job actually cursed his own life and he still never cursed God, right? So the point of me reading all that to you is to show you that there's some people out there, right, that are a part of your training period. You have to train through spiritual warfare to get stronger, to become more equipped, right? And God will allow you to go through certain trials and tribulations and certain tests in order to strengthen you, in order to train you. It does not mean that you deserve it. It does not mean anything bad for it to happen. And that's why when you are sensitive in the spirit and someone is doing something to you, you will feel it. You may get a headache. You may get sick. You may break out. Or you may lose some of your hair. And all that may happen, but it's not killing you. It's not killing you. And your life is still spared. And the reason for it is because you are in a testing season. But not only that, you've done nothing wrong. You've done nothing wrong. See, if a curse was to fully hit you, the way how they wanted it to hit you, many of you guys wouldn't even be here right now. So when people sit there and say to you, you're feeling afflictions because you offended God. You're feeling afflictions because you're cursed. You're feeling afflictions because you did something, you committed some type of sin. Yes, sometimes when you open doors, yes, your warfare will be 10 times worse, right? But warfare doesn't happen because you did something wrong. Spiritual warfare is part of a test. And if you're being afflicted to where your physical body's hurting, your head is hurting, and if you're feeling afflicted to where something's going on in the spirit, and you know it's witchcraft and black magic, and your physical body's tired and drained and all of that, it's because you're sensitive in the spirit. When you're sensitive in the spirit, you're going to know something's going on because you're feeling what is afflicting your spirit. Okay. And because you're sensitive, your physical body's going to react to what's going on with your spiritual body. Because you're sensitive, you're aware of that. And some people that say you're going through this because you offended God, or you're going through this because you did this or did that, trying to gaslight many of you guys. They're going through things in their own life, and it's because of black magic, or it's because of warfare, it's because of afflictions. but they don't feel it in the spirit. Therefore, they may see it as normal because they're not sensitive to feel in the spirit. Their physical body's not going to feel it the way your physical body is going to feel it, because you're sensitive in the spirit. So you're going to feel it. It's going to be 10 times harsher for you because you're feeling the spiritual afflictions and the physical afflictions, where they're only feeling the physical afflictions. They're not aware as to what's going on in the spirit. I had to read that to you to show you guys that Satan did whatever he can to try to get Job to curse God. Many of you guys, you're not doing anything wrong, and there's people who are doing black magic on you, right? They're cursing you, and the curse ain't hitting you, but you know something's going on because you're sensitive in the spirit. You're feeling the effects of what they're trying to do, but it's not prospering. It's just being formed. Many of you guys, what it is they are trying to manipulate you into cursing God, into going against God, into leaving your assignment, into giving up on your destiny, into giving up on your purpose. Their intentions is they want to afflict you so much that you give up on God. They want to afflict you so much that you don't have faith anymore, that you don't pray anymore. Just like Satan said, I'm going to afflict Job, his external, and I'm going to afflict his skin so he can curse you, to try to get Job to be angry at God. That's what many of these people are trying to do. They're trying to get you to be angry at God, curse God, give up on your purpose, give up on your destiny. The only tactic that they have is to try to get you to self-sabotage. And the reason why that's the only tactic they have is because what God has for you is for you. So they have to try to manipulate you into that, like how Satan tried to manipulate Job into cursing God. Because here's the thing, the people on the external that don't understand spiritual warfare, that are not sensitive in the spirit, what they don't understand is when they come to you and they say these things to you, you must have did something wrong, you must have did that, you must have did that. They're helping Satan manipulate you into being upset at God, and they don't even realize that they're doing that, and they're being used to do that. And not realizing that you're being trained, and this is a part of your testing season. Again, you don't have to do anything wrong to go through spiritual warfare. You don't have to do anything wrong for someone to go and put you on an altar or to chant against you. You're not responsible for their actions. But if you're sensitive in the spirit, best believe you're going to feel the shift, alerting you that something is being done. Again, let me ask you this question. If you were such a bad child of God and you deserved everything that is going on, or if people are saying to you, then you must have did something, that's why you're going through what you're going through, then if that's the case, then why do people have to manipulate you to try to get you to sin, to try to get you to self-sabotage, to try to get you to curse God? They wouldn't have to use black magic if you were already a bad person, because they know that you would have self-sabotaged by now. Think about that. If you are such a horrible person and God is not going to bless you because of that, they would not be doing black magic on you. The black magic is a tactic to try to manipulate you into being who they want you to be. And that's why many of you guys, you noticed that it's when you start walking with God and you stop doing a lot of the things that were detestable to the Lord and you start living right, why do you think they're going harder with the black magic now? Why do you think they're obsessed with you? Why do you think they're trying new attempts? You see, when Satan realized that messing with Job's external did not affect him, what did he do? He went for a whole new tactic and wanted to affect him skin to skin. And that's why they go harder with the black magic when they realize you're living right for God, because now they have to try to manipulate you into doing the wrong things because they want to get their way. Right? And they know they can't get their way unless you do something for them to get their way. That's why I said the only way that these people can stop you is if you lack knowledge, and then you end up self-sabotaging because you lack knowledge. I just want to share this with you guys, okay? I love you guys so much. Do not let anyone manipulate you and gaslight you. Any child of God that is sensitive in the spirit, they're going to know that something has shifted, okay? They're going to know. And they may know from a headache. They may know from feeling nausea. They may know because, hey, something's going on. My washer's breaking. My roof is leaking. My car is not starting. And that's the enemy trying to manipulate you into being upset at God, because you're going to think to yourself, God, why are you allowing all this to happen? But you're not realizing it's a test. You're not realizing that the enemy's trying to get you to be upset at God. And the more you keep your integrity, right, you're going to pass that test and you're going to head on to the next level. That's why before every blessing is spiritual warfare. That's why before every breakthrough, there's a storm. And then there's a rainbow. And that's God confirming his promises for you at the end of that storm. Okay? I love you guys.